Looking mental as we mob to Sacramento, flow into an instrumental, put a hollow through your dental. Hit the gas pedal, then we start to smashing. See these motherfuckers mugging the mic, just blast them. It's me, Dink, Ram, and Filippo, deep in the Jeep on the creek, ready for some action. Got the 38 and the 45 loaded for the blapping, hanging up out the window loud as hell like Samuel L. Jackson. But what the fuck just happened, man? I'm the coach with the floats, thinking of a plan, drawing up a play to find a way to get as high as I can. Goddamn, try to buy some snow, but it look more like sand. Strapped with the caliber 4-0, charging high prices like the Arabs at the liquor store. Just cop the dirty hairy fofo from the homie Bobo, cause we the mercenaries from that street called mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts.
TRE-EIGHTY on my hip as I dip sideways down the Park Ave strip. 6 in the clip, 1 in the chamber. Nigga play the trigger is known as a face rearranger. Got a dime bag of purple raining like Prince. Commit a homicide with no clues or fingerprints. I'm back on the scene with my strap and my jean. That's the only thing I trust, cause there's enemies among us. My first gun was a Savage 12 gauge rifle in a chrome 22. Got me caught off in a rage. Then I got a 9mm throwaway. Next a tactical red beam SR 4-day last. My main bringing pain 380, so don't get in my way, nigga. Tryna be a hero. If you step to my rep, you catching slugs to your neck. My flow's wet, just like my bitch.
Mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts.
Turn off a rope on the road, mobbing slow. Catch a nigga slipping, leave him hanging out his car dough. 45 under the seat with my dope. Sticky bag of weed and an 80 float. Smoke a rope with my folks. Hop back up in the whip and pull my pistol up out of my coat. Put it right to your neck. It's a deadly game, so freeze, bitch, and show me some respect. Left you looking like a wreck. Leave you in the street and blow your spine through your chest. Should've done it up long range. Aim it down the sights and send one flying to your face. It's not the same, it's just a shame in the dope game. People try to take you for your money, roping cocaine. Mr. No Name, trying to do big things, but the police found him in the trash with no brains.
Mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts, mobbing up through the cuts with a TRE-EIGHTY in my nuts. See these young punks start chopping them up like cold cuts,
mobbing up through the cuts with a 40 cal in my nuts. Mobbing up through the cuts with a 40 cal in my nuts. Yeah, bitch. It's Roach Street and we out. High as a motherfucker. Got pounds.